It's an FA Cup classic before a ball's been kicked. Yeovil, the most practiced giant killers in cup history. Arsenal, our most vulnerable giant at the moment. Less vulnerable, though, today for the return of Tony Adams from suspension and Lee Dixon and Paul Merson from injury. Kevin Campbell is relegated to substitute, Anders Limpar promoted to the starting 11. But these are the stars of FA Cup week. Yeovil goalkeeper David Coles has had 16 clubs and never cost one of them a fee. It all began for him as a boyhood Arsenal fan and a teenage Arsenal trialist. A stack of stories of what might have been for these players to tell. Most have had some league experience. Two hard luck stories today. Club captain Mark Shale, Yeovil's outstanding defender, is suspended. Player manager Steve Rutter, just fit after injury, just couldn't find a place for himself. The pitch here, flat and true these days, didn't even warrant an inspection by referee John Lloyd. But thick fog cleared with only 90 minutes to spare. Yeovil start the day as probably the best supported team in the Cup. All the world loves a giant killer on third round Saturday. Tony Adams knows that Arsenal are on a hiding to nothing, and he knows there'll be no hiding place for them if they lose. First to the ball. Making his presence felt immediately. This is Hillier. Smith, Paul Merson, Phil Fern's in pursuit, and Merson's away from him, and it needed Batty to get back and make the challenge. Arsenal's current league form verging on suicidal, source of great encouragement to Yeovil, who've been going along very nicely at their own level, one defeat in their last 15 games. The sort of run that I'm sure Arsenal had in mind back in October, and the sort of run that they need again now if they're to reassert their claims to the major prizes. Helped on by Wilson for Sanderson to chase. Bold taking no chances with the speed of Paul Sanderson. Harrow with the throw. Oh, it might come through here. There's almost an opportunity for Wayne Dobbins, the fullback, who's stolen in behind Nigel Winterburn, who's yelling at Anders Limpar in front of him. But Dobbins was unseen there, and Seaman came to Arsenal's rescue. Just tiptoeing around the back. Arsenal almost caught by the ambush. Bold. Sherwood's header. Hillier down for Wright. Got away from Cooper. Got away from Wallace. Couldn't quite get away from goalkeeper David Coles. But it was a menacing run by Ian Wright, twisting away from two challenges and making space for the shot, which had a fair bit of pace behind it. Limpar. Tossed in towards Smith. O'Leary couldn't quite reach it. And then Batty got between he and Hillier. Lee Dixon taking it up. It was Ferns who got his head in the way, and Arsenal have a corner. Corners in towards Bold. Hillier. Here's O'Leary. Headers by Dobbins. O'Leary again. He's trying to find Limpar. He eventually does via Hillier. And Limpar's won another corner. They certainly haven't approached their task tentatively, though, Arsenal. They've gone for it. Limpar's corner. Ball got a touch on, and Ian Wright gets a touch in. And that puts a completely different complexion on Arsenal's task here today. Such a valuable goal from Ian Wright. His 13th of the season. He scored nearly half the goals that Arsenal have got. And it was the old trick at the near post. Both flick on, and Wright virtually unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box. His goals output for Arsenal is absolutely extraordinary. It comes down to about 5 for every 7 games that he plays. O'Leary, Winterburn, Limpar making the run ahead of him. Held up by Dobbins. He's turned it back for Ian Wright though. We needed a touch from Alan Smith. Wright pivoting quickly. Limpar, the instigator of all that. Starting to get at Wayne Dobbins, his fullback. Wasn't too far away from Smith, was it? It's come for Cooper to try his luck from range. It was awkward rather than really threatening to David Seaman. Richard Cooper's effort came to him awkwardly, and it came to Seaman awkwardly too. Smith finding Wright. Managed to squeeze something out of the corner for Alan Smith. To squeeze a corner kick out of Andy Wallace. There's a buoyancy about Arsenal up front at the moment. 5 minutes of this first half remaining. Hilliard in towards Smith. Good save on the line by Coles. Arsenal are master of the skies over Yeovil at the moment. They're having a lot of joy in the air. And Alan Smith will be a little disappointed he couldn't defeat Coles, who was actually stood behind the line, but just kept it on the honest side of the line. No flag against Wright. It was a tight one. Drawn away from Wallace. Now, can Wright cash in? It's a beautiful chip. Yes, he can. A delicious goal from Ian Wright. Right on the stroke of half-time. 2 for him, 2 for Arsenal, and that could be the end of the fairy story. There was a question mark of offside before all that happened, but Wright didn't hang around to see there was a flag. That's a terrific finish. Here's Paul Merson. So far, so good for George Graham's team, and particularly for Ian Wright. 2 more for him, 14 for the season. They've been businesslike, they've been brisk and battle-hardened, and perhaps above all, they've been balanced with the return of their injured stars. And they lead Yeovil Town by 2-0 at the break. This is a sticky week for Arsenal, with a League Cup tie to come at Scarborough on Wednesday. A quarter-final place in that competition might change the look of their season. They are still just 7 points behind the title favourites, Manchester United. I'm sure they'll be talking crisis, what crisis, if they come safely through this escapade in the West Country this afternoon. Ian Wright has certainly taken them a long way down the road. Very confident young fullback, Wayne Dobbins. Really enjoyed himself in midfield as O'Leary. Now Sanderson enjoying himself, stretching his legs in behind Winterburn. There are 2 waiting for the cross. It might come here for Batty. And he just couldn't quite grow enough. And that was maybe the little glimpse of an opportunity which Yeovil needed to lift them. May just be their last glimpse of an opportunity too. But they needed to pick me up. And the raw speed of Paul Sanderson and the hunting instincts of Paul Batty almost combined to give it to them. Couldn't quite get there on his favoured right foot. Ian Wright in pursuit, trying to test Coles again. He's got goal side, he's chipped it past the keeper, and it won't quite get there. Coles will see to that. I'm not sure that it was bound for the goal anyway, but Neil Coates made doubly sure. Forward by Batty, this is Spencer. Adams has been a rock for Arsenal. Smith. Now this is Batty. Deflected to him off Spencer. Wilson. Spencer. Sanderson to his right. 3 to aim for if he can get the cross in. David Seamer's punch. Cleared by Bold. Wallace. Bold again. Very capably dealt with by Arsenal once more. Wallace trying to hold off Wright, he hasn't done so, and Wright has got his hat-trick. It's come midway through the second half, and Ian Wright signs the bottom of the game sheet, puts his signature on the afternoon with a hat-trick of opportunism and of class, which has eased a difficult situation for Arsenal today. His speed behind Yeovil has always been a problem, and his alertness and his courage to get there first earned him his third of the day. Sanderson. O'Leary, though, for Winterburn. Ooh, Lee Dixon caught by Spencer, and the Arsenal bench are up. And in the closing 15 minutes of a game which is surely won, that was a dangerously late challenge. It's always dangerous when a striker is sliding in like that and the fullback is kicking through the ball. Could be a sour end to an afternoon which has been competitive but good-spirited. It's a yellow card for Mickey Spencer. Thankfully, the damage doesn't seem to be too severe. And a free kick for Arsenal. Arsenal got the benefit of the doubt. Merson. And now it is a Yeovil throw. Smith. Good play by Batty. And by Wallace. No let up in the intensity of the match in many ways. Nevin has found Wallace again, and what a chance here for Spencer! Round Seaman, around the wrong side of the goal, penalty given. Spencer was impeded, presumably by Steve Bold as he got back there. And referee John Lloyd has given Yeovil the chance to end the afternoon. with a flourish from the spot. Well, if Bo was penalised, it was harsh. Paul Batty has a chance to score a famous goal in the history of a famous cup fighting club. They've got something from the day. Paul Batty's penalty has given it to them with 10 minutes to go. I don't think it'll affect the outcome of the game. Batty the scorer. He's actually on the transfer list here. And Batty's glad he hung around. Smith. It's come from Merson. Now Hillier. Wright. Great cross. Limpar. Smith. Smuggled away somehow. Back in by Winterburn. And this time Alan Smith is offside. Just had a chance to end all the nonsense from Arsenal's point of view there, Smith. Silenced the newfound optimism amongst the Yeovil faithful. Sanderson. Another brave but broken cup dream. Arsenal back to business, showing no sentiment, no mercy, but showing a keen eye in front of goal from Ian Wright, who looks as if he's going to keep that football for himself, and why not? But Arsenal, still in both cups, still in the championship race, went on to win the double the last time they won here in Yeovil. George Graham was a player then. He's the manager of a team that are still contenders. They've won comfortably this afternoon, 3-1.
We've had a few bad weeks recently and bad results, and I think we're all aware of that, but I think the media make more of it than what really is expected. And I think it must have disappointed a lot of people today, Arsenal winning. I think they probably came to the wrong part of the country for some shocks today.
We haven't had the greatest of time in results-wise, but, you know, we've got quality in our side. You know, we've got, like, great supporters in that. And it's only going to be a matter of time before we do anything. They know they're going to get it, just got to be patient, really.
Have you made any New Year resolutions?
Well, I just want to score as many goals as I can, really.
We've set standards and now we're at the top of the tree, and when we fall below those standards, I think there's too many people who actually take a lot of pride, a lot of joy in actually the criticism of Arsenal. But we just roll our sleeves up and get on with it and come back again.
Difficult for a non-league side to contend with Ian Wright in that sort of form today, Gary.
Yeah, he was his menace all afternoon to them. We've criticised him a little bit for one or two things that he's done that he shouldn't do, but there's no denying that he's a tremendous centre forward and a tremendous goal scorer. His record for Arsenal, he's first class.
And the second one in particular was a peach, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. First of all, the defender gets in a little bit of a mess there, Andy Wallace, but Ian Wright's quick to capitalise. And it's a fabulous chip, this. There was no way that the goalkeeper had any chance there. And you see a better view from him. I think this is where he spots the goalkeeper off its line. I don't think he has to look up. He sees him in the corner of his eye, knows what he's going to do, and his disguise is perfect. Great goal.
Smart stuff. There's no way they're out of the Championship, is there, Arsenal? I mean, they've had a bad run in recent weeks, but...
They're not out of it, but they've got to have a really good run now. I mean, they can't afford to lose any more games.
But they've had the bad run, haven't they? The chances are they will have a good run.
This could just set them back on the way again.
Yeah.
Could just do that.
All right. Now, what about that penalty there for you? Was it...
I didn't think it was a penalty at all. I could understand why Steve Bold and the rest of his Arsenal colleagues were so incensed. Actually, it was a great build-up, and it comes to Wallace, and he plays it into Spencer, who does everything right. Good touch, goes round Seaman, but there's no way Bowles touched him here. He goes down, and Bowl gets up and goes after the referee. And again, he takes it around Seaman well. And for me, there's no way he's made contact with it. He's just fallen over. But if it had happened, if the score had been 2-0, it might have been an interesting last 10 minutes.
It didn't actually affect things, did it? But
no, Arsenal's attitude in the day was tremendous.